Hello viewers, welcome again. Today we're going to heat a romantic comedy and drama film, describing the journey of a teenage girl named Lina, who has lost her mother to cancer. She lives in Brooklyn, New York, but her father lives in Italy. Because Lina's mom, Hadley, spent a few years of her life in Italy, when she was almost of Lina's age, and she returned after Lina's father left her. Lina's mother's last wish was that Lina should go to Italy and spend the summer there before starting her college, meet with her mother's best friends, and try to find her estranged father whom she has not met before. Lina is a different girl. She never participated in parties and never used any social media, because during her whole high school life, she was taking care of her mother in the hospital. She did everything in her life with her mother, and they also were supposed to go to Italy together. Now Lina is not willing to go without her mother, but she decides to fulfill her mother's final wish. And when Lina goes to Rome, she becomes increasingly curious to uncover the most mysterious part of her mother's life, her secret love affair in Italy, and she also likes the city, and meets someone because of whom her life gets completely changed. The movie starts when Lina is attending the funeral of her mother, and she is overcome with grief. She talks about some moments of her mother's past life. Lina says that her mother never spoke about her life in Italy, until she got sick. In her last breaths, she obliged Lina to go on a graduation trip to Italy. Lina wanted to take her best friend Addie with her, but her mom said she has to go alone. After the funeral, Lina goes home and packs her luggage. Lina tells Addie that she doesn't want to go to Italy. Addie asks her to get relaxed, she will have an amazing time in Italy. The next day, she takes a flight to Rome. Her mother did already inform her friends about Lina's arrival. Francesca, the best friend of Lina's mother, comes to the airport to receive Lina. She takes Lina to a graduation party to meet her cousin, Howard, who was also a friend of Hadley, Lina's mother. Howard is an art teacher at a school and is attending a graduation party with his students. He is with one of his students, Lorenzo, when Lina and Francesca come there. Howard sees Lina and says she looks alike her mother. He shows her one of her mother's favorite places in that building. He says her mother loved wandering the ancient places. Howard asks her to take a round of the building and try to walk in her mother's footsteps. Lina walks around to take a look, and she gets lost in the beauty of that building. But after a while, a student from the party, a charming Italian boy, approaches Lina and talks with her. He guesses that she's from America and welcomes her to the city. He introduces himself as Alessandro. He tells her that he hopes to meet her again, and he leaves. After that, Lina goes with Howard and Francesca to her home. When they reach home, Francesca gives Lina the same room that she and Hadley used to live in. She shows her the diary of her mother that she sent to Francesca, to give it to Lina. After getting fresh, Lina opens the diary to read it, and she learns about her mother's first impression of Italy. The next morning, Alessandro calls Lina, and she gets surprised that how did he get her number. Alessandro says he got it from her social media page, but Lina says she doesn't use any social media. Alessandro sends her some photos of hers. Lina says it's her friend Addie who has edited the photos. These photos are not of her. Alessandro invites Lina to his dad's fundraising party. Lina talks to Addie and asks her to delete that fake page, but she doesn't agree and advises her to go to Alessandro's party. Francesca tells Lina some tips about how to walk with grace and dignity while wearing heels. Then she asks her to try heels, but Lina is not used to them. Francesca dresses up Lina and gets her ready to go to the party. At the party, when Lina meets Alessandro, he tells her that she's looking stunning. He offers her a drink and then they listen to the opera. After the song ends, Alessandro takes Lina backside off the stage, and he asks her to play touch and go game. He tags her and runs away, but Lina doesn't want to play in that place because it's not a good idea. Alessandro runs away and Lina chases him, in order to stop him from doing that. When she catches him, she asks him to get back inside. Alessandro tells her she doesn't have to be scared, and he tries to come closer to her. But the security guards come there and order them to get out of there. When they get back to the party, Alessandro's father rebukes him for his behavior. Alessandro says he's with his friend Lina, and his dad scolds him by saying, a friend whose name he will not even remember tomorrow. Lina gets disappointed to hear that and she leaves the party. Finding the way out, Lina passes through the kitchen and encounters with Lorenzo. Lorenzo says to her that he saw her with Professor Howard at the graduation party yesterday. He says he is his student and he can help Lina to get home. He offers her his chef suit because she's not feeling comfortable in her dress. Lina is scared of riding a bike, but Lorenzo says it's not a good option to walk home in heels. Lina gets on the bike and they ride through the lighting streets of Rome. Lina feels too much scared that she closes her eyes. Lorenzo takes her to a place that he calls a secret bakery, because they do not sell to the public. But Lorenzo knows the owner of the bakery, and he gets some Maritazzi pastry from her. He says to Lina that this bakery makes the best pastries in Rome. Lina really likes it and enjoys eating it. Then Lorenzo drops her at Francesca's home. Alessandro also comes there. He and Lorenzo were friends at one time, but now they don't talk. Alessandro asks Lorenzo why he is angry at him, but Lorenzo says he's tired because of a lot of work, and he leaves. Alessandro comes to Lina and asks her to go out with him tomorrow. Lina says he's a reputed person and she's not of his type, but he says it's the reputation of his family. No one actually knows him. He tells her it was his best night with her, and asks her to come to his home tomorrow at 12, they will have fun. At night, Lina continues reading her mother's diary, and she learns about the day when her mother first met her father in a photography class. The next day, Lina goes with Francesca to Howard's home. Howard tells Lina that he wants to give her something, her mother's camera. He shows her some of the pictures that her mother captured with this camera. Lina gets surprised that Howard still has kept these photos. Lina asks them why her mother stopped taking pictures, but they don't tell her. Howard says to her she can take this camera as long as she wants. In the following scene, Lina takes pictures of different places in the city with the camera, and she feels extremely happy to adopt her mother's hobby. Then she goes to Alessandro's house to meet him. He welcomes her to his home, and says his day got better. They take a car and go to a waterfall for swimming. Alessandro asks her to jump from the fall, but Lina hesitates, and Alessandro asks her to do it together. They dive into the water, and Lina gets excited after jumping that she did it. Alessandro says he loves coming here but it's the last time, because his dad wants him to go to Harvard to study finance, and he doesn't want to go. Lina asks him to talk to his father and tell him. Alessandro says, right now, he's more interested in her. Lina tells him that she has never been with anyone. Alessandro says he knows she's different, and that makes him different too. He says if she wants, they can start a relationship. Lina comes closer and kisses him. At night, Lina calls Addie and tells her about her beautiful day. Addie feels very excited about Lina's first kiss with any guy. Lina says she's planning her future with him. But when Addie visits Alessandro's social media page, she tells Lina that he's having a drink with another girl at a restaurant. Lina gets furious at Alessandro, and she rushes toward that restaurant. She goes to Alessandro and shouts at him, as he has played with her emotions. Alessandro tries to explain to her but Lina calls him a liar, and she leaves out. Lina feels extremely sad about this. She goes to the secret bakery and asks the baker for the pastry. Eating the pastries and reading her mother's diary, Lina wanders here and there, until Howard finds her. He tells her that Francesca is so much worried about her. Lina tells him what happened to her. She says she knows that Alessandro doesn't owe her anything, but she liked him. Howard tells her it happens when you know nothing about love. Lina asks him if he's ever been in love, and Howard says yes, he's been in love, once. Lina asks him if he knows about the man whom her mother was dating with, but Howard says he can't say exactly. The next day, Lina goes with Francesca and Howard for a lunch at the house of one of Howard's colleagues. While sitting in the car, Lina continues reading the diary. She learns about a conversation between her mother and Howard. Lina doubts that Howard is the man who was dating her mother, and he is her father. After reaching the destination, Lina comes to know that it's Lorenzo's house. His mother is Howard's colleague. Lorenzo is cooking the meal in the kitchen, because he has an audition tomorrow, for a cooking school. Lina comes into the kitchen and says good luck to him for his audition. Lorenzo's grandma asks Lina to help them. Lorenzo shows Lina the base of gelato, an Italian frozen dessert made by his grandma. Lorenzo asks Lina to churn it and tells her there are only 5 ingredients in it. He tells her the names of 4 ingredients, but his grandma stops him from telling the 5th one, because it's a secret. Lina tastes it and tries to guess the 5th ingredient, but she could not. Meanwhile, Lorenzo's ex-girlfriend, Georgia, comes into the kitchen. She gets angry with Lorenzo for standing with Lina, and then she gives him a kiss. Lina leaves them alone and goes out. At the dining table, Lorenzo's mother tells Lina that Lorenzo plans to open a restaurant after his cooking school. Francesca tells Howard that he should talk with Lina, because she has read the diary and she might misunderstand. But Lina now believes that Howard is her father and he's hiding the truth. She gets up from the table saying that she can't understand why her dad never thought about her, not even after the death of her mother, and she goes away. Francesca asks Howard to go talk to her. Howard comes to Lina and tells her that he's not her father. Of course, he loved her mother but they never became a couple. Her mother's photography professor Matteo Fossi is Lina's father, but he left her mother. Howard tells her that he's sorry for not telling her earlier, because her mother wanted Lina to discover it on her own. When they return home, they see Alessandro sitting over there. Lina asks him to leave her, but Alessandro says, that girl was just his old friend, he has nothing going on with her, and he won't do it again. Lina says it's not a good time for this. Alessandro apologizes to her and leaves. On the next day, Lina decides to go to his dad's gallery to meet him. She catches a train to go to Florence, and she also finds Lorenzo on that train, as he's going there for his auditions. Lina tells him about the story of her mother and father, and says him that she's going to meet her father. She says her mother never told her anything about him. Her mother had many plans for her life in Italy, but she had to give up everything because of Lina. Lorenzo says her mother did so because she loved Lina more than anything else. He offers her gelato, and says her mood will be happy after eating it. When Lina tries it, she finds it extremely delicious. She asks him about the secret ingredient, but Lorenzo says she will know herself. On reaching Florence, Lorenzo tells Lina that his audition is in the afternoon. In the meantime, he can show her the city. Lina agrees and they both explore the beautiful countryside of Florence. They wander everywhere in the city and enjoy some local foods. Lina asks Lorenzo about his relationship with Georgia. Lorenzo says she was his childhood friend and they started dating, but then she went to the other city to participate in a racing program, and their relationship reached a break. Lorenzo also asks her about Alessandro and she says there's nothing between them. Lina asks him why he and Alessandro don't like each other. Lorenzo says they were friends in school, but one day, another friend of Alessandro insulted Lorenzo's mother in front of him, and Alessandro did nothing. When Lorenzo hears the church bell, he tells Lina that he's getting late for his audition. He tells her the way to her dad's gallery and asks her to go meet him. Lina wishes him good luck and encourages him, saying that his cooking is the best. Saying to him that she will meet him at the train station, she goes the other way. When Lina reaches the gallery, there she sees a picture of her mom. She tells the receptionist that she wants to meet Mr. Fossey, she is his daughter. The receptionist tells this to him but he refuses to meet Lina. Lina can hear their conversation, she angrily goes to his office, but he doesn't talk to her. Lina picks up the photo of her mother and goes out of the gallery. When Lorenzo reaches the train station, he observes that Lina is very upset. He asks her what her dad said to her, and Lina replies sadly that it wasn't good. She asks Lorenzo about his audition. Lorenzo says he failed, and Lina feels so bad for him. Lorenzo wipes tears from her face and they both kiss each other. They catch the train back to Rome, and when they reach home, Lorenzo tells Lina that his audition got abolished, but he doesn't want to blow off their relationship. Lina says her kissing him was by mistake, because she was very depressed. Lorenzo says it's okay, and he goes. Howard asks Lina how she feels after meeting her dad. She says he was an idiot, but she's okay now. Lina says she will return home on Monday because she wants to get on with her life, and she returns him the camera of her mother. Francesca says to Howard that he should not let her go, like he did with her mother. And he spent the last 18 years regretting that because he feels responsible for all that. He never dated any woman after that, he stopped painting, and even he stopped living. She says Lina's mother didn't send her here to find her dad, instead she sent her to find Howard. The next day when Lina is packing her luggage, she hears the doorbell. Lina opens up the door and Addie surprises her. Lina gets super excited to see her best friend. She asks her how did she get there. Addie says Howard called her and told her that Lina is leaving, but now Addie won't let her go anywhere. Lina tells Addie that her father didn't even dare to talk to her. Addie asks her to forget about her dad, and think about Lorenzo and Alessandro. She says Lina should make a choice between them, because she has to go to the graduation party at Alessandro's home tonight. Lina reads the remaining part of her mother's diary, and finds out that her mother also fell in love with Howard. But she left him in Italy because he had a good career there. According to a tradition in Italy, Lina's mother attached a padlock to a bridge, with hers and Howard's names written on it, so their love never ends. But she kept the key in the diary and Lina locates that padlock. At night, Lina and Addie go to the party at Alessandro's house. Lina tells Alessandro that they are not suitable for each other, because of Alessandro's family. He says, in his family it's difficult to change things. Suddenly, Lorenzo's friend Georgia comes there and tells them that Lorenzo left for Paris, because of Lina. Hearing that, Lina runs away from the party to go to the train station to meet Lorenzo. Addie asks her to ride the bike, but Lina says it's risky. She says, with love, always comes risk. So Lina says she will drive then. When they get to the train station, Lina stops Lorenzo and tells him that kissing him was not a mistake. But right now she has to live for herself, because that's why her mother sent her here, to find herself. Lorenzo smiles and says good luck to her, and he leaves. The next day, when Lina finishes the diary, she tells Howard about her mother's love for him and shows him the padlock. Lina tells him that she will extend her stay there for 1 year. Howard says although he's not her biological father, he always worries for her like her real dad. He'd be happy if Lina considers him as her adopted dad. Lina becomes happy and says thanks to him. After a year, Lina comes up with a new perspective on life and has become a mature and strong girl. Wandering the streets and taking pictures with her mother's camera, Lina comes across that bakery and sees a "For Rent" board on the door. Then Lorenzo comes there. She gets surprised to see him there. He tells her that he's going to open his restaurant there. Lina feels so good for him. They both become so happy to see each other again. Lorenzo asks her to come to dinner at his house. His grandma made gelato. And Lina says they will have to go on her bike. While driving the bike to Lorenzo's home, Lina tells him that she has figured out the secret ingredient of gelato. Lorenzo says, "It's better late than never." The movie ends with this scene. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video, and make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, to never miss upcoming interesting videos like this. Thanks again.